sunlight bathed the books on the shelf, in a warm glow as I sat in my study. By the time I reached college, I had spent a lifetime wrestling with the ghost of my past, desperately trying to escape the cycle of emotional manipulation that had haunted me for far too long. My thoughts wandered back to my childhood, to the house where I grew up, a house made entirely of glass. My parents, Martha and Edward, had built the house as a symbol of their wealth and social status. But behind the shimmering facade, a toxic environment thrived. My mother was a master of emotional manipulation. Her words were like daggers, penetrating deep into my soul. She would constantly belittle me, crushing my self-esteem with each passing day. My father, on the other hand, was the silent accomplice, standing idly by his wife as she spun her web of lies and control. I remember being trapped within those transparent walls, unable to escape the constant scrutiny and manipulation. My dreams were always shattered by my mother's disdain. I constantly lived in fear of disappointing her. Even when I tried my best, she was never satisfied. She never once expressed satisfaction with my best efforts, as if they were equal to my worst. I became a shell of a person, always striving for approval, but never quite achieving it. On my way home from the grocery one day, I met a woman named Sarah. She was a kind and forgiving woman who loved me without conditions despite my scars. She herself had grown up with a verbally abusive mother and a father that was in and out of her life for the majority of her youth. We shared stories of pain, shed tears from trauma, and forged a bond I had never experienced with anyone before. Sarah and I got married, and we bought a home. We both made the decision without our parents' knowledge or involvement. I learned to see through the glass as I grew older. I came to see that my parents' behavior didn't reflect how valuable I was to them, but rather a transaction of emotional commodities backed by their personal fears and insecurities. Slowly, I began to find the strength to break free from the chains that had bound me for so long. With the support of Sarah, I mustered up the courage to confront my parents and put an end to the emotional manipulation that had plagued my life for decades. I invited my parents over to my house on a sunny summer afternoon. My house was a warm, loving place that mirrored the warmth and love I had finally discovered. As they sat in my living room, the walls adorned with photographs of cherished memories, I looked them in their eyes and spoke with a firm yet gentle voice. "Mother, Father, I want you to understand that your words and actions have had a profound impact on my life. My spirit has been crushed by the years of cruelty you have inflicted on me. Our relationship has been severely harmed by those actions, but I refuse to let it define me any longer. I am breaking free from this cycle of emotional manipulation, and I will no longer allow it to control my happiness." My parents sat in stunned silence, their faces etched with a mix of guilt and realization. In that moment, they saw the consequences of their actions, and the weight of their past choices pressed heavily upon them. As the years went by, Sarah and I continued to fill our home with love, empathy, and respect. We had children, and they grew up knowing the value of healthy relationships and the power of compassion. My parents and I developed a much closer bond. They started to exhibit a love that shattered the memory of an earlier, traumatic time. The glass house that once held me captive was now a distant memory. I had discovered my own strength and found solace in the love I had built around me. The scars remained, but only as a testament to the battles fought. They no longer defined me. With each passing day, I embraced the freedom I had fought so hard to attain. I realized that I was worthy of love, and I vowed to use my experiences to help others who find themselves trapped within their own glass houses. Hopefully, my story is a beacon of hope for those who felt suffocated by emotional manipulation. Through resilience and forgiveness, it is possible to escape the shadows of the past. With one piece of glass at a time, a future can be built, a future surrounded by light and love.